first played creative, specifically Turtle Wars, I thought to myself that this game would be a lot better with a zone. Sadly then, and still now, creative doesn't offer a storm mechanic or anything like that, and only recently we actually got something that's a bit close. I saw on like a random no block video on Instagram showing this new device called the music sequencer, which I didn't even know came out, and it looked like a storm. So for the past week or so, I've been kind of playing around with it. I made different maps, I tried different techniques, and I all tested them within the Turtle Wars Discord, link in the description. Currently we have 11,500 members, so help us get to 12,000. But anyways, so I think I finally found something that felt like it's good enough to be played. I definitely think you should try and recreate this map or anything. I don't have a supported creator code, so I can't share the map with you, but for now, if you guys could hit that subscribe button, help me get to 1,000, so possibly I could share this map with you guys in the future and other maps or ideas I have. So now for the tutorial. I recommend using the block loadout because it's just the easiest one and it's empty and it's just perfect for trying things out. The dimensions for the width and the length is an odd number. I chose 21, and the reason for that is so I could have a middle piece, because that's gonna come in clutch later on. I centered the 21 by 21 on the block piece, and I went to the middle of each side. I bridged out 7 blocks out. After I did that on each of the 4 sides, I went in the devices category and I selected the music sequencer. On the 7th square that you've placed on each of the sides, put a music sequencer that is facing towards the map. Now that you have done that, go back to the music sequencers and put in these settings. First, you want to turn your looping to infinite, unless you want to walk through the switches to restart your storm every time the game ends. But if you have looping to infinite on, after a match finishes, the storm restarts and you can keep it going. Tempo is up to you, just keep in mind, 1 is very slow, and most of the players will be eliminated by the time the storm comes in. Also, don't put it above 60 BPM, because 60 BPM is around the speed of a Fortnite character's sprint. Anything higher than 60 would be impossible to outrun. The reason why they need to be able to outrun is important. We will get to that in a second. Length is 16, width is 24, and the height is up to you. Also, I'm aware that it says on-off switch under trigger type, but as a last minute change, you actually want to turn that back to trigger. Also, make sure that zone visibility is on, because if not, people will die to zone and not even know where it is. If you don't, you're gonna have to pay the price by listening to a ton of TTV sweats getting mad at you in Discord. You're gonna have triggers active as always, the direction is forward, and damage to elimination. Now, you're gonna probably say that's not realistic. Now, that is true, but it's the only setting that makes sense. This isn't a full storm mechanic, it's a music sequencer with damage. It doesn't tick like a normal storm. When it passes you, you do not just constantly take damage. Instead, it only takes damage on first impact. So that means if you put the damage any lower, any noob or bot or just anybody who doesn't really care is just going to stay behind the storm wall and not do anything. And this is the exact reason that you want to turn visibility on and why you want BPM under 60. Because since it's just elimination as soon as you touch it, if it's above 60 it's impossible to outrun. The reason why I have a damage zone in the very center of the map is because that you can actually make tick. Make sure zone visible in game, the zone width and zone depth doesn't matter, but the zone height as tall as your arena, the damage type to damage over time, the damage to 10, and damage tick rate 1 second. Make sure there is no safe team and make sure shield damage is off too. This is basically how it works in game. As you can see, he's trying to use as much of that safe space there's still there and waits until the elimination zone closes in, and then he has to step into the 10 tick zone, as if it were the whole zone completely closing. Now you're almost done. All you really have to do is make one switch that turns on all the storms at once. Put a music sequencer behind one of all of the 4 music sequencers that I already have, and put these settings in it. Then you're want to go to both sides of that width. Then you're going to want to build a little 1x1 that aligns with 2 of the switches of that corner. Make the switch facing the direction where you came from, but turn the length all the way down, but the width to 100. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Make sure that the switch is facing the direction where you came from, and do the width 100 and the length to 0. Then repeat that process for one of either corners for the last storm. And yeah, you're done with the storms. Now all I gotta add is some walls, some guns, and tell people to join up. Have fun. I think it's really fun. I think it's good for what we have now. Hopefully Epic will add something in the future. I recommend playing in duos because you get knocked down, and that way you have a second chance if you get hit by the storm. And anyways, yeah, have fun. Like the video, subscribe, share to your friends that you want to play it with, and sorry if I'm unclear about some things. I'll answer as many comments as I can. This is simulating when it ends. Yeah, it's right here. You all get it. Same thing. I'm just making sure that everybody's up to date. All right, 4 teams. Jeez. Good luck.